very low chance that we won't need it, but very high chance that we will need it. And the runners are off. Going to be getting that wooden sword right from the start, and then we'll see what kind of route these players are going to open up with. I believe this is game one between these two. I don't know much about
it. Certainly is.
I know quite a bit about my good friend Rambler. I'll try not to be biased, but if I am biased, it's going to be in favor of the other guy because, you know, got to dunk on my friends, right?
That's for certain. We do see a rough overworld here by way of the Pole's voice and the Gibdos coming out into the overworld, and both of those enemies do 2 hearts damage if you end up getting hit by them. And our first level we find is level 6. So a little bit about these two. NYRambler is the number 63 seed and the number 66 seed garionoldwolf. In the qualifiers, they did meet up twice in their group in the big group races. NYRambler ended up taking both of those races, 118.42 versus 139.16 in the week 2 second qualifier, and in the week 3 first qualifier, it was 106.46 Rambler, 122.41 for garionoldwolf. And ew, we got Lamola.
Lamola's right off the start. At least both these players do. Well, I was about to spoke too soon, but having sword beams kind of makes that room a little bit nicer. But nice taking advantage of, as long as you kill one of the 2 Lamolas and then screen transition, the other one just says, all right, I'm out of here. I'm done with this. I'm not dealing with that. And we'll despawn.
Both of them are going to have to grab the key, and then we're going to get ourselves the wand, which is a very nice find early on in the match. It's a vanilla item out of 6 here. It allows you to deal white sword level damage except on all enemies with the exception of wish robes.
Yeah, the one enemy you wish it would definitely work on as well.
So we do see a leave behind a mugger room here in level 6, and this is going to allow both of these runners to do what is called zombie strats here, where if you only have 3 hearts, oh, that's nice. Red Dark Nuts rolled low. They got the -2 of the HP shuffle.
Oh, an interesting Rambler deciding to head on out of there. He saw those red dark nuts. He said, no, I'm good. But that is going to be missed information on his side. Oh, Karen taking immediate blue landmolls right to the face. That is one of the dangers of entering rooms from the right side, or going from right to left, is you never know when you're going to run into a blue landmollas, and they are quick, and they do quite a bit of damage.
Absolutely, and that is a rough death to take, and you know, even the best of the best runners, they're going to end up taking that kind of death because of the scenario regarding coming into a room like that. So Garion is going to try to kill this Lamola again to gain access to the room over here to the right. So we saw the item on the side of the staircase, which is the one. We're still looking for the item on the floor. We're also looking for the Triforce, of course, as Rambler decided to say no to level 6, and Garion has chose to stay in there. We did see that the mid-seeker rolled high. It was 39 rupees, 1 off the maximum.
Now, does that mid-secret being there kind of dictate where the Armos item is going to be? Can you kind of determine where it can be from that?
Unfortunately,
or do you need more information?
Unfortunately, no.
Are there multiple mid-secrets then?
There's one mid-secret. Now, what Rambler opted to do is get the mid-secret from its vanilla location underneath the Armos, so that we can't decipher any information about where the item is going to be. It still could be shuffled amongst the other of the 4 Armos items at this point.
So we did see our level 9 over in Vanilla 2. Looks like Rambler is trying to hunt some bombs right now, and Garion is actually taking advantage, using that wand to get some information, because, you know, we're still looking for that floor item, we're still looking for that Triforce, so having the knowledge that it is immediately ladder blocked right there in 6 is sometimes good to have. Now, arguably 6 is generally one of the longer dungeons in shapes. At least, like, the potential to be one of the longer ones. It can at least be longer than 7. I don't know if it can be longer than 8, but to go ahead and continue diving in here, especially at 3 hearts, can be a bit of time sink. So let's see if he decides to stay there, while Rambler taking a give note to the face over on the east side. Fortunate there.
Yeah, and what's more unfortunate about where he took the death was he's about to get some information about what was inside of the candle shop, which he can find it over here. But I think he was also going to try to get some information from what was on the coast. We do see the candle, and he is 2 rupees short at 60 rupees as Garion continues to search this level 6. And now this is where you could really lose a bunch of time, staying in a dungeon that you've died in several times already. And Wizrobes are on the overworld.
So we got Gibdos, Pulse Voice, Wizrobes, and those pesky Octorocks.
and I'll ask you, when you have a case of enemies being taken out of dungeons and put into the overworld, and you'd ask me, what do I not want to see in the overworld? Well, those are the 2 that I do not want to see. The Pulse Voice as well as the Wizrobes.
All right, we do have a vanilla blue ring at the Armos spot there, which is interesting. 250 rupees. Oh, yeah, I see why you don't like Wizrobes in the overworld, because they will just spawn right at the beginning of a screen transition before you have any time to react. So,
that's one of the reasons right there. The other reason is because both the Pulse Voice and the Blue Wizrobes are better screen scrollers than I am.
oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm just walking along, and then the Pulse Voice just walks on from left side over to the right side. Completely unrelated. Yeah, the other thing was with robes too is like if you're in a room or in a screen with a bunch of red Wizrobes, they'll like file in one at a time, which makes it even harder to see where they are.
Yeah, especially if you're dealing with one of those screens in either of the forests here. Now, if Garion finds something really nice in this level 6, this will make what has now been a 6-minute investment in this dungeon worth it. But the longer he's spending in here, the more it has to be a required item in order for him to get any sort of investment gain out of this.
All right, we do have level 2 over in the level 3 spot. Garion got to be careful here. I was trying to go for that nice angle aiming down, but yeah, I feel like at this point he'd probably, I would assume, would bail, but going back in.
Yeah, he is. And this is giving Rambler more time to do some research. And he does know that the Armos item is going to be in one of 2 spots at this point. It's either going to be at the Lost Hills or the Vanilla location. We see the wooden boomerang as the first of the 2 items in level 2.
And there's a compass on Astolfo, so that's good information about where the Triforce is. Now, level 2 isn't a very long dungeon, and Rambler does already have the map for it, but still, nice to know, because now he can kind of head in that direction if he wants to and see if he can find the other item along the way. It looks like he's going to take a detour over here. The other floor item should be showing up pretty soon, and hopefully it's actually some progression, because we haven't gotten any yet, really.
We have seen a wand, which is very nice in its own way. And here's the other nice thing about having Wizrobes in the overworld. Oh, there's one good thing about having Wizrobes in the overworld. It means everything that you can find in a dungeon will be able to be killed by that wand, at least normal enemies.
Oh, that's a very good point. All right, let's see what. I'm still wondering what else is going to be sitting here in 6. Lots of small keys, so good to farm up a bunch of keys, because, you know, you don't want to go into a dungeon and be immediately key locked, especially if you go up to, like, vanilla level 9 or something. You're like, well, I'm done here. Oh, geez. More blue land molas.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, he was so close to getting through that without taking any damage. That was really good.
He got very, very lucky with how some of those, how the hitboxes ended up working, getting some invincibility frames as well. So good job for Garion for getting through that. There is the Triforce in 6. So in a way, this is going to pay off for Garion by the fact that he's going to be able to pull this Triforce after all this time.
If he pulls that Triforce.
Well, at least he knows where it is at this point. He still wants to find that floor item.
Yeah, I feel like, well, you never know. This needs to pay off for him. This needs to be huge.
Yeah, this needs to be something like the bow, the silver arrows. In fact, the silver arrows would be the best find right now, because it's a case, he takes a death to the blue dark nut. Pushed the dark nut in his direction by way of the as Rambler ends up taking a death to the Gleeok. He ended up pushing the dark nut by way of the wand, but it just didn't pay off for him at this point.
yeah, sometimes it has... Oh, nice. There's a bomb upgrade, so if he ever wants to come back and upgrade his bombs, he needs to come back with a few more rupees. But yeah, that's the one thing that's kind of scary about using the wand on these enemies. If you do that little quick turnaround sometimes, it's kind of the same thing with like bombing Dark Nuts, that you can bomb them literally into you. And at 3 hearts, you don't really want to take any damage from any Dark Nuts. Yeah, I believe that was Rambler taking a death on the Gleeok, which is guarding the Triforce of level 2. So 3 heart, I believe, was it a 2-headed? I couldn't remember if it was 2-headed or 3-headed.
Yeah, the one he was facing was a 2-headed Gleeok, and in fact, it was the room over to the right. Because what Rambler's still trying to do is he's trying to find that second item besides the boomerang.
Oh,
and it very well could be on this bottom right section of this segmented level 2.
Yeah, no, on Garion's side, fighting another set of blue Lamelas. Ah, okay. Well, he got one down, so that's good. Oh, I see. What is that? That's the magic key
the
inside.
key.
That is really nice to have early.
Yeah, especially when he has 0 keys.
I've the few races that I've watched so far, the bracket stages have a lot of them have kind of come down to early magic key for one player. Now Garrett does still have three keys total right now, so he can still move around. But yeah, you want to have that. That's such a relief not having to think or care about collecting keys or any of that. You can just focus on bombs or not dying. Those are also very important things to focus on.
And it also can change your strategy inside of a dungeon too, because if you end up going through particular rooms and at this stage, you know, if you see where the floor drops are going to be, you now can pick and choose which rooms you're going to actually try to clear out a little more with better precision, I guess is the best way I want to say it at this point, because then you don't have to worry about, oh gosh, is this room going to drop a key? Do I have to worry about this room? Well, I got the compass. I guess I don't have to worry about this room now.
That's very true. I did want to correct something. That Gleeok was not guarding the Triforce. I believe the Gleeok was in the room prior to him. So that was actually a very free Triforce. It was just sitting right there. Anybody could have grabbed it. It didn't even have to be Link, but it was.
So Rambler's not going to make the up, left, down, left path through the Lost Woods in order to head on over to the graveyard area, where he's going to check out what's at level 6 and also check out what's at the Armos statue.
Oh gosh.
Well,
oh jeez. Oh man. All right. That was terrifying.
Yeah, it's never fun trying to go up the.
It's not, no. Like screens with like narrow paths or ladders with blue Wizrobes, they're just gonna camp it. They're just gonna wait for you.
Yeah, for certain. And so Rambler's gonna try to take it a little easy getting into what is level 4.
All right.
And he'll do an up and A, get his health back, get himself up to 3 hearts, and let's see what we have inside of this level 4.
At this point, I am starting to get a little bit concerned for Garion. Still hanging out in level 6, hoping to find something. Has almost full cleared it in a full clear 6 with 3 hearts this early. So
yeah, we're now standing at 13.5 minutes. This was at level 1, so this is a case where he's going to be having to make a return trip over at some point in time.
well, it looks like level 4 is full of Dark Nuts. Rambler decided to say, it's fine. Let's just keep moving. Now, 4 is unique because these rooms, the room that Rambler is in right now, I think this room is unique to level 4 in the fact that only level 4 can actually have a drop item.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Now, it's not guaranteed that this particular room, if this room ends up being used more than once, but it is a possibility that we can find a drop, and there is the drop right there. It turns out to be another key that we already have, the any key, so it's not much value here to Rambler at this stage.
All right, well, we took one path. Let's take a different path. Let's see what we got going on here. We're still looking for both items here in 4, looking for that Triforce. Rambler taking up the entire, kind of just, I wonder if Rambler's going to head up to like Vanilla 9 after this or whatnot.
Yeah, I think he's going to probably check the Armo statue and then make his way over towards level 9.
And then he could also go, you know, up in A, go grab his candle and head over to the east. Because I don't believe... He does have the money now for the candle, but... Yeah, unfortunately, we're on Garion's side, taking another death to those blue dark nuts trying to get through.
Yeah, at this point, Garion has to take that Triforce, get on out of here, and cut his losses, because at this point, Rambler has now full clear level 2, got both items out of there. He's now in level 4, where he's starting to come up with the idea that he may be ladder blocked inside of this dungeon, because we've now seen 2 Chevy rooms. And no drop in this room, and it increases the odds that we are indeed ladder blocked inside of this level 4. So Rambler is going to cut his losses now and head on out of here. It's strange seeing 15 minutes in, and both of these runners sitting at 3 hearts.
Yeah, especially with the fact that the floor heart containers are all randomized, there's just a much higher chance of finding more heart containers. Of course, there are still heart containers in the overworld off of like the Take Any Caves, the 4 that we can do. Oh, and there is the raft at the Armos spot. So that's going to open up another dungeon in Vanilla 4. So that opens up more options for Rambler. And at the same time, it's like, oh man, I have all these things I can do now. Do I want to go get some heart containers from the Take Any's? Grab the candle, jump into 8, see what's at the coast. But it looks like he is going to be heading up to Vanilla 9, taking a peek up here. When you go in all the way up here, and he already knows where 9 is, he's probably hoping for something like level 1. Something short and completable, so he doesn't have to make the trip back up here. Or a recorder. One of the two. Instead, we're going to get level 7.
Get level 7. Ooh.
I will say, non-shapes, level 7 is always bad. In shapes, level 7 can sometimes be not so bad. That one's pretty bad.
Yeah, take a look at that little left segment there that just trickles on down to the bottom left. That is ugly, and that right-hand segment's not even better.
Yeah, that is fantastic, and that is that is terrifying. I feel like those enemies are just too fast. I feel like they shouldn't be so fast. But I believe we did see over on the right side, Garion pulling out, unfortunately, the power bracelet in 6. Which is 100% not what you want to see after spending this much time in that dungeon, because that is one of those... Oh no, power bracelet is over in 2.
You're in 7.
Wait, or in 7. Is chat ahead of me?
No, they're talking about what's at the Vanilla Armos statue.
Oh, okay. I should actually read and not just assume. Well, okay. That's funny, though. Never mind. Those things that I said, I was lying. I was lying to you specifically. Yeah, you. That one person in chat. Yeah, you know. I'm talking to you.
It's your fault.
It's my fault. That's fair. I can live with that. I was like, oh man, I was really excited that Garion finally finding the item in 6. He does find the compass over here, which doesn't help him any further, but gosh, both players getting just walled by these blue land molas.
So we know this is a transport staircase. It's going to be one of the 2 pairs of transport staircases that Rambler's going to find. This one takes him all the way to the other side. What a greeting part. What a nice little welcoming party that is from Mandala.
Just awful. No time to react. Just in all... Oh, no. Garion finding what are those rooms called? What's like the actual terminology for those rooms? Or just the T-shaped water rooms?
I think we just call them the tea rooms.
Okay, well, there was a book in there, so we have our item out of 6 in the book.
And that is unfortunate here, because Garion has now spent 18 minutes inside of this level 1, and all he has to show for it is the book out of after what Rambler does. Now, he is going to be able to get this Triforce out of here, but this is just so much time that he has lost to... Rambler. At this point in time, I think it would almost be a good decision here for garionoldwolf to just go ahead and pick up that bomb upgrade.
Yeah, he's I think like 7 rupees short. He's a little short on that, and you never know. You could get like what the max rupees like, or the max bomb upgrade is what 6.
That's right. It's anywhere between 2 and 6 for your value, and unfortunately for Garion, he takes another death.
Yeah, that's got to feel... You're 20 minutes in. and you spend all that time and you just see the book. That's no good. I mean, the thing is, that's funny that both the wand and the book are in here, so you could get the book and just forget about the candle if you really want to. But with the wand being such a strong just weapon to use, especially up close, you don't really want to squander its abilities. Rambler finding out that Patra was just for fun.
Give him credit for finishing off that Patra on only 3 hearts and green mail.
Yeah, that's impressive. Not many people can do that. The wand does make that significantly easier, but at the end of the day, you just kind of feel bad for spending the time doing that. But let's see if he can get past his manhandler this time. Dropping 1 bomb, he's got plenty of bombs to spare.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That worked out extremely well.
The wand's hitbox for the win right there. Now, we do have 2 ladder-blocked rooms there to the north, so Rambler's not going to be able to touch those 2, and with only 1 heart, does not have any desire to touch that.
Jeez.
Manhandle. At least these are the slow-moving Lamolas, but not much of a consolation.
Yeah, they still pack a powerful punch. Come on, Rambler, you beat that other Patra, why don't you go beat that one? That could be something good. Well, nice to see Garyon does get his first Triforce piece out of level 6. He's done. He's out of there. Let's see where he is off to next. Oh my gosh. How many blue Landmolars are going to... There's just... The seed is nothing but Landmolars so far. I don't envy these players because that is just horrible.
It's like the game saying to these runners, I'm going to take the Pole's Voice, the Gyptos, the Wizrobes, anything... with the exception of the Dark Nuns that take 2 HP away from you, and I'm going to put them on the overworld, but your substitution for that is I'm going to give you a bunch of Lamos to kill.
You're like, oh, you thought you were going to have fun today, weren't you? Well, have I got a surprise for you. Rambler does take out the Lamos, rewarded with a bomb, which brings him back up to 7, which is good. He is still looking for, what, the floor item in here? But,
yep,
and the Triforce.
Also the Triforce. Both of them require... Well, we don't know about the floor item. This is not a fun room to be coming out of here.
Anything with bubbles and enemies that take more than 1 hit. And stuff shooting fireballs at you. Good use of bomb.
Yeah, I can totally get his plan there to just go ahead and bomb everything. And he's going to say no more to level 7. He is done for now. And he's going to take his efforts back on over here towards the right-hand side of the world. I think he's going to go ahead and use... No, I thought he was going to use the power bracelet, but no. He's going to go grab some heart containers at this point in time. Well, if he can get there.
Yeah, it's got to be careful. I do like the fact that you can like slash an enemy and kind of walk through them if you're quick enough, just to kind of get around enemies. We did also see on Garyon's side that there is bombs in the bomb shop, surprisingly enough, and they were only 11 rupees, so pretty cheap bombs. I don't know what is the max bomb amount, or not max, but what is the vanilla bomb amount?
The vanilla bomb price is 20 rupees, so any shop's going to end up being plus or minus 20 rupees. So it could be anywhere between 1 rupee and 40 rupees if you get really, really unlucky.
Speaking of unlucky, that lever said no. Nice try, though. You were close. You almost got to that street transition. Now, I believe this is the first time we've seen... Or no. Rambler was in level 4 earlier, right? And he got completely ladder blocked out, so...
Yeah, as far as he knows, he was completely ladder blocked and just couldn't go anywhere else. So Rambler's going to go, and I believe his next destination here is going to go to Bomb Open Monocle Rock, which is the rock right here that will contain another heart container. It's just north of level 2, and usually is the route that runners will go in either finishing level 2 in the vanilla game or just heading into 2 on the world record route. But this now puts him at 5, which gives him a 66%. And there's the recorder in 4. I did not see Rambler pick that up.
Oh, wow. So taking advantage of the Dark Nuts shifting around in that room to be, move away from that T island or whatever, Garen able to take advantage of that, getting that recorder, and that is a really nice find because not only is it a required item to get to Vanilla 7, but it also allows you to teleport back to previous dungeons you've completed, or at least acquired the Triforce out of, so that is a nice find. So both players right now having... Well, Garion also did get that raft from the Armos spot, so a couple of required items taken care of.
Yeah, the nice thing about Garion is that he needed a break after what ended up happening to him over the past 15 minutes, as 98 turns out to be the top secret here for Rambler, which is not a bad discovery here. But what garionoldwolf needed is something to go his way after digging level 6 for quite a long time. And thankfully, in this case, it did pay off for him by way of at least getting a required item out of there. Rambler's going to have to get back there with the ladder. So if Garion's... for those who are hoping for Garion in this seed, you've got to hope that the recorder leads you to the dungeon that has the ladder.
Yeah, that would be... That'd be a pretty significant sway in this one. And that's pretty much what Garion's going to hope for as well, given his I'd say a bit of a rough start. I do have to admire his desire to stick it out and stick with it in 6 and get the Triforce out of there. So let's see. Yeah, there's still plenty of game left. Plenty of time for things to sway back and forth. Rambler, I believe he's making his way over to the Armos shop to get the blue ring.
He wants the blue ring. Oh, what a nice little dangerous screen this is to try to get into what is at the vanilla level 7 location. What do we have inside?
Level 5. I love it. And whenever there's a dungeon here and like it's immediately bomb blocked, so you're like forced to like leave and go back in. What is this? What is happening to Rambler?
I do not know what just happened right there, but he's going to go ahead and reset the screen to allow him now to be able to push that statue open. I have no idea what happened there. That's something that I've never seen before.
I've never seen that either. That's a new one. Interesting. Well, I guess they just didn't want to activate it. They weren't open yet. You had to go back. Well, now, one thing I am a little bit concerned for Garion is the fact that having not been to Vanilla 3, which is where level 2 was, which is where the magic key was, he is a little bit short on keys, and there is the possibility of him running out and, end up being locked out of this dungeon or other dungeons, so that's still a pretty sizable advantage for Rambler with that magic key. We do have immediate ladder lock and Goma lock right in that room there. And Dig Dogger, just throwing everything at him. This is level 8, so it is kind of fitting we see a bunch of these bosses. So, Rick, if you were either of these players, what would be the next thing that you'd be hoping to find? What would be the next... Could be a progression item. Could even be just, like, red ring. What would you be looking for at this point? What would make you satisfied?
Considering our low amount of health at this point, the red ring would definitely be a fantastic find. The second best find would be the white sword. But more importantly, I would love to see the silver arrows pop up if I was playing this seed. And the reason why is because you don't ever want to have to push into that question mark when you're leaving items behind of a dungeon. Is it going to be in level 9?
Yeah, that's always a scary thought of, especially depending on how you route the seed, where you're getting Triforces and gambling on the other item being in there not being required. Then you have that big question mark of, do I go back and check those spots, or do I gamble on 9? And I feel like anytime you gamble on silvers and 9, unless they're like literally in the first room, like in that one qualifier, generally it feels pretty bad.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to always have the case where the silver arrows turn out to be in the very first room of level 9, easily accessible by everybody if you don't get hit with the Ganon first thing. So inside of this level 5, Garion is looking for both the floor drop item as well as the staircase item, but he's very happy to find these keys at this point because, as you pointed out, he has not been to level 2. He has not seen the any key inside of that dungeon, so he's happy to get what he's getting at this stage. It reduces the chances of him being key blocked out of certain areas here as Rambler decides to take a couple of bunnies to the face.
Yeah, just walking right into him like it was nothing. I'm surprised. Well, it looks like Rambler, because he put his money towards the blue ring, does not have enough money to buy that candle. I wonder if this is a trip over to level 5. I guess he is gonna gamble on it, whether he has enough hearts to get that white sword item. I believe the range is, what, 4 to 6 hearts in order to pick it up?
So it's 4 to 6 hearts, and so therefore Rambler does have a 66% chance of pulling out the white sword item, but it's a very rough thing when it turns out to be 6 hearts required, and you have to find your way all the way back up this direction. Although the power bracelet does mitigate it some.
Oh, it's just a heart container. It would have been funny if he didn't have enough to pick that up. But if he had that heart container, then he would have enough to pick up that heart container.
I know, right?
Obviously, players are always looking for better white sword items than just that. You know, progression is always nice, but being that this is still kind of early in it and health is hard to find, a heart container is not something to be too upset about. I mean, we already saw the book. We already got a boomerang. So what else could you find that would be disappointing? Another boomerang?
Well, there's still a possibility with the magic boomerang still up for grabs, and level 3 turns out to be up at level 5.
Level 3... I don't know, level 3 tends to be a pretty nice dungeon, pretty laid back, you know, early Triforce, literally every time. No, but these dungeons tend to be a little bit shorter, so you can kind of get through them a lot quicker, and because, you know, Vanilla 5 is so far out of the way. Not as far as, like, Vanilla level 9, but still pretty far. It'd be nice to get this done with and not have to come back up here. But, yeah, Rambler, as we've seen, you know, he dipped into 7, did as much as he felt like he could, dipped into 8, did as much as he felt like he could. Same thing with 4. He's kind of struggling to really find his footing, so hopefully 3 will give him the items he needs so he can start knocking out these dungeons a little bit quicker.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he finds out that this is just a transport staircase, which I would have honestly have taken, because at this stage in the run here, you just had to wand those vires down, so they're going to be reformed once you get back through here, and so therefore not taking the staircase means he's going to have to redo it. It's not that difficult, but I have a feeling we have a red vinyl on our screen over in level 5, which means Garion has just kind of made things a little easier for himself by way of a red ring.
I didn't want to interrupt you, so I just made a weird noise and then said nothing. But yeah, finding that red ring, I liked the simultaneous patras going on both players' screens, but that red ring, especially when you're still at 3 hearts, is super comfy. And it's like Rambler's going to take the Triforce out and probably, I guess he would go back in so he would have his full health to go through the dungeon. And looks like Garion is going to try and get past these blue dark nuts. Doesn't want that Triforce quite yet. Get a nice heart drop there, so some survivability. But I
don't
believe
worry.
we're still looking for the floor item in 5 and both items in 3.
Don't worry. After hearing your ooh, then it was like, okay, what just happened here? And then all of a sudden I see the Reach, who is our tracker behind the scenes here for this seed, light up the red ring for Gary, and then I noticed the red sprite. Like, yep, okay, he definitely picked up the red ring, so yeah.
Put the pieces together, figured it out.
We also could put the pieces together by saying the bait's not going to be required this seed.
Yeah, it's pretty nice when you find all the ways around it and not have to worry about it anymore.
I track based on weird noises.
It's a good call. It's a good skill to have. It's important. You never know what's going to come out of our mouths. Hopefully something insightful. An insightful squabble. Insightful sound effects. All right. Ooh, we got a shoot room here in 3. Looks like Rambler's going to go ahead and clear it out, because this could be one of the items. This could be the floor item in here, right?
Yeah, and this almost always is going to be a drop room.
Well, it did drop something, just a small key, which of course at this point Rambler does not care about, but that information is pretty good.
And here's going to be our staircase item. Unless this is a double segmented level 3. There's a
there-
heart container on the floor. That's the item.
And the heart container right there.
Heart level 3.
That's a good feeling right there. Especially, well, here's the thing. So we've seen one of the items in 5. 5 was, I believe, at the Vanilla 7 behind the recorder that Rambler missed in 4. So Rambler is going to miss out on that red ring for a little bit longer, and who knows, he might end up being in go mode by the time he gets that recorder, or by the time he gets to that dungeon, he might never get it, but...
Let's find out.
Oh, another
It's a heart container.
Okay.
He could be in go mode, yeah.
So we'll see. All right, but both players finishing out their different dungeons and heading on out. It's good to see we finally have a dungeon that both cleared of both items, cleared of the Triforce. Move on to the next one. So we're still looking for what? Level 1 and level...
We haven't seen level 9 yet.
We did see level 9. I believe that was at Vanilla 2.
Okay, yeah, that's you're right. Yep, you are right. So, what are we missing then? Well, we had, like you said, we haven't seen level 1.
We haven't seen Vanilla 8 because neither player has picked up that candle yet.
Yeah.
I believe that is where our level 1 is going to be.
That pretty much by deduction would have to be the case.
Well, this is good news for Garion making it into level 2. Going to be picking up that magic key and maybe picking up that boomerang. I don't know. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a red candle on the coast. So that's it's like, oh man, if I just had the ladder, that would save me some money.
I think that almost guarantees that we're going to be finding the ladder inside of level 1 at this point.
Yeah. I mean, there's still... Well, let's see. Yeah, both items out of 6. Both items out of 5. We only got one item out of 4. We got both items out of 3. They were both heart containers. There's still an item in 7, and then I believe all 3 items in 8. But maybe. There's still 3 unknown items in 1 as well. Rambler, once again, a couple rupees short. This time 4 instead of 2. See if you can get a 5 drop from any enemies around here.
So Garion is just a couple of rooms away from being able to pick up his any key. Just gonna have to be careful with how he decides to move about this, just because take the wrong turn and you're going to find yourself key blocked until you get to that point.
Well, unfortunately, Rambler taking a death trying to farm off those Gibdos. Yeah, it looks like he is just kind of running around trying to find rupees. And I believe he already got the medium secret that's right at the beginning of the start. Just needs a couple more. And it did look like Garion did pick up his boomerang as well, so... I don't know if it was one of those, oh, I actually spawned it while I was standing over top of it kind of situations, or if he actually went out of his way to get it. They can still be pretty nice to have.
He actually did go ahead and pick it up by intention. So this room right here is going to give, or no, it's not. So that's right. It's on the other side of the staircase where the any key turned out to be, if I can remember correctly. Rambler's back instead of level 6. So this is going to tell the tale of how this remainder of the seed turns out to be, because how much longer or how much time Rambler spends inside this level 6 trying to dig for the second item or for the Triforce will make a big difference.
Yeah, and he gets to revisit fighting a bunch of blue land wolves again. He sure had fun doing that earlier.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a laugh riot.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder how long he will spend in here looking for that book item that was on the ground up. I think it was up kind of in the top right area. Or if, he'll get that Triforce and head on out. It's still a big dungeon that you don't really want to spend too much time on. And, boy, I'm sure these players would love to have a ladder.
Looks like Garion's starting to set himself up for the Kananaki technique here, because he's hovering right next to that door, trying to get the Staffos to help him out. I would kind of wait until I was down to 1 before I decided to start camping out next to that door. Now he's down to that 1, so he's going to wait for the 1 to come down, dodge the fireballs, hope the fireballs don't wreck him while he's trying to get into this one single room. Stalfos not helping out at all.
Or when the Stalfos is lined up, then the fireballs start coming in.
Yeah, I know. This is the game is definitely not playing nice. There we go. Beautiful kinetic key for their garionoldwolf. Now, of course, he goes back through, and then he's going to go back in the door. That means that the door will now be forever unlocked.
I finally, in one of my practice seats today, had the opportunity to do that, and it was really cool. I felt so good. Every time I was wanting to do it, I already had 1 key on me, so I couldn't. I was like, come on, man.
And the funny thing is that kinetic key is going to be able to get Gary in this any key.
How silly. What a coincidence. Yeah, I believe it was right up here within a like-like's jaw.
Yep, right over there. Garion's going to pick that up, having already picked up the
right
Triforce. Up and A, and there it is. The A key for garionoldwolf. So both runners ended up getting the any key with 0 keys, which is a nice find, and Rambler takes a look, trying to see what he had picked up. In that case, it probably was just a bomb drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a unique sound whether you pick up rupees, keys, and bombs. That didn't sound like a key, right?
Yeah, the problem is that the sound that the bombs make when you pick them up is the same sound as picking up an item.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
You have that problem come into play. So then you take a look at your inventory. What in the world did I pick up? Because Rambler's at a full 8 bombs at this point, so he's also down to 0 hearts at this stage. But having the 8 bombs means he didn't see any change for his bomb count, so he couldn't even decipher from that.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm wondering, that's what, 2 deaths now for Rambler here in his revisit to level 6. I wonder how long he is gonna, he's been kind of doing this thing where he'll spend 4 or 5 minutes in a dungeon, and if he doesn't make any progress in it, then he bails out of there. I wonder if he'll stick it out. He still needs to get the Triforce, I believe, which was down at the bottom left.
Yeah, he still
Where
has to
is
get the
that
Triforce.
map?
I think 1 room to the south was, or 2 rooms to the south where Rambler just was where the Triforce turned out to be. As we see Garion heading on over towards the raft at this stage. And that was level 8, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Garion also did pick up that candle, finally purchased that candle, which, man, I really want to see what we got going on over there, over in Vanilla 8. There's got to be something in there, right? There's just got to be. Okay, Rambler does make it to the Triforce. He'll probably head on out and see if he can find anything in that vicinity, but...
Yeah, not having access to level 5 at this point in time because he did not pull out the recorder out of level 4. That is going to come into play here based on what he needs to do. So he's definitely going to try to search out this book. The problem with level 6 is it's got that same conundrum that you mentioned earlier regarding level 7. Level 7 and First Quest is a very, very big dungeon, and level 6 in shapes kind of takes that same principle.
Yeah, I don't know, I never want to find 6 early, because it's like, I don't want to spend a year here. Rambler, unfortunately, using... I believe he had 8 bombs when he went in that room, and now he's down to just 1. But those blue dark nuts, even with that blue ring, still kind of pack a powerful punch, especially when, after an up and A, you only start at 3 hearts. Just finding a small key up in that room. Gonna head... back? I wonder why he didn't check that door down there. I think he's just gonna get his Triforce and leave. I don't blame him for that at all.
The other question is where is this bow? Because this will make things interesting. Now, also bear in mind, Rambler did not have the recorder in his first trip through level 8. So what if it turns out to be the ladder is a floor drop here in 8, and you had to kill a dig dogger to get to it?
Unfortunately, just a small key, but yeah, that would have been a pretty significant change. Might actually continue. Right now, we're, coming on 45 minutes in. It's kind of still hard to say whom amongst these players is leading right now. They're both tied in Triforces, but I believe, you still got to give advantage Garion just because of the recorder that he has right now. But Rambler's still avoiding that candle that I'm sure he's been wanting to buy and been thinking about for a long time, but it looks like he's finally heading in that direction, and we will get to see level 1.
So finally we get the candle purchase for Rambler, and he will be making his way into level 1. 3 items in there, and it's a very, very short dungeon. The best place to go when you're missing items to beat this seed. Unless you misfire the candle.
Bit of a whiff there. Oh, double
Strike
whiff.
2.
There's the one right here. I'm feeling it.
There we go.
Oh my gosh,
Nice
it's
hit.
level 1. Level 1 is interesting because it does have 2 floor items and then 1 staircase item. I believe, does it always have 1 item that's just on the floor? It doesn't have to be like a kill room or anything? Or is that
I think
not
it's just
like
random. I think it's random on whether or not it turns out to be in that case. I've never really have noticed any strong lean into that direction.
Okay. There's still so many secrets about this game. I gotta read the manual, clearly. Oh,
That's a doggy or a reindeer or
it's
some sort of animal.
Carriage, like a stroller.
Oh, it could be a stroller.
It's a Mega Man.
It almost looked like the dog from Monopoly.
Oh, yeah. I always played as the little boat, the little battleship. That was my favorite. That was my choice.
I was either the dog or the boat myself.
Well, this is interesting. We have both our players in level 1 together. We got a red ring on one side and a blue ring on the other side. We got a Link and a Lionel.
And we got a bunch of Links on Garion's side because any Lionels turn into Links because he is playing as the Lionel sprite. As he goes to the empty room, just hugging the walls, which is always a good strategy when you see no enemies inside of a room, just in case it turns out to be wall masters.
I believe Rambler was trying to cycle to his bombs that he didn't have to bomb south there as well.
Well, that is also a good point.
Oh, we do have the Triforce within a Stalfos in this room, so be able to just keep moving on.
Yeah, we're still hunting down the staircase item plus the 2 floor drop items. Haven't seen any of them at this point. A bunch of red Lionels, and it's good as red Lionels. Blue Lionels are a little tougher, but there's our first of the drops. And for a seed that took so long for these runners to get some health, Ramblers are now at 10 hearts, which puts them at a potential magical sword pickup.
Yeah, and with no white sword inside so far, you might consider going for that at some point. Unfortunately, this is looking a little rough for Rambler. He needs to find some sort of bomb drop at this point. Otherwise, he's going to have to bail out and come back later.
There are no bomb droppers here in these available rooms. So he is going to have to leave this dungeon and, he's going to pick up the Triforce first.
Yeah.
You might as well leave here with that in your pocket. Now, Garion does have the advantage of having 3 bombs in here, so at least he'll have that going for him.
Gotcha. Just acknowledge the huge difference between heart containers between these 2 players. I do believe Garion hasn't been to Vanilla 5, which is where level 3 was, which had 2 heart containers. I also don't know if he's taken the time to grab any of the Take Any.
I had not seen him going to any. I had not seen him going to any. There goes bombed shop pickup here for Rambler, so he's going to go back into level 1. Nice job for Rambler remembering where his bomb shops were.
Yeah, because at this point, you don't want to be leaving level 1 with just 1 item. Also, he didn't even get the Triforce either. He just bailed out. So, don't really want to leave that Triforce either.
So, Garion could not bomb into that room. The room that is above the Triforce room. Which means that's going to be a corridor staircase. That helps out some information right here. Now we know that one of the items is going to be in this room. Now, it's also because it's a corridor staircase, could also be the floor drop item as well. It's not. It's just a key. Garen gonna go into this room here. Possible drop room here as well. There's the other heart container.
Container. Oh no.
And level 1
Another
is a heart. It's a triple heart one.
heart.
Where is this ladder? We
Oh
missed
my
something in
gosh.
another dungeon somewhere.
Well, we still haven't seen any of the items in 8, though it did seem like it was either extremely ladder blocked or magical bomb wall or something. We do also still have, I believe, one item in 7, which we haven't seen yet, but 7 was looking pretty rough too.
Yeah, 7 was pretty rough, and here's the big thing at this point. So we are either missing something in level 4 that we don't know about, something in level 7 that we don't know about, or something in level 8 that we don't know about at this point, because this is phenomenal at this stage. We were almost more than certain that we're going to find some sort of progression inside of this level.
Yeah. I mean, at least now this will increase Rambler's chance of getting that magical sword.
Yeah, he's going to have 12 hearts after he leaves here. And not any guarantee of where the white sword's going to be, so he'd be a fool not to at least try the magical sword at some point in time. As Garen's about to find out that level 9 is up here.
I believe, was level 4 over in the level vanilla 6?
Yes, I want to say yes.
I wonder if Rambler's going to take a trip over there next. Because here's the question. I know Garion's going to be heading up to level 5, where he's going to find level 3, where he's going to get his 2 more heart containers and a Triforce. But at this point, if you're a Rambler, where do you go? You don't.
Yeah.
He still, and for him, he still knows there's an item in 6 that he's probably freaking out about still.
Yeah. Because at this point, Rambler's probably going through his mind, oh god, I left the ladder behind at level 6. I left the recorder behind in 6. I left something behind at level 6.
Mm-hmm. And I know he doesn't want to triple dip level 6. Question in chat, do they know where the magical sword is? Yes, the magical sword for this flag set is not randomized, so it will be in the grave. It looks like he's heading there right now. He has a pretty good chance of getting it.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and take a chance on this right now. With 12 hearts, he has 60% chance of wielding this magical sword. So is this one of those good seeds or is this one of those bad seeds? It's one of those bad seeds. 12, not enough.
Oh, the thing is though, if he goes into 4 and finds another heart container, do you think he'll go back and try again? Because I feel like the swap going from wooden sword to magical sword, I don't know, it seems pretty significant, don't you think?
It is a significant enough of a damage output here that you want to be able to pull it at this stage in the game. So Rambler is missing the recorder. We know that is one of the 2 items in here. We have not seen the staircase item.
Yeah, so this is good for Rambler because he had missed that recorder. As long as he remembers to go, or as long as he decides to go check that one room, the tea room with the dark nuts, he'll be able to get his recorder, which I believe led us to level 5, which had the red ring and a heart container. Yeah, sounds right.
5 had a heart container as well as the red ring. So Rambler cannot finish that room, but there could be a bomb wall to the south, to the north of this room here.
There we go.
There's a bomb wall right there. And
That
there's a reverse C, but this is not going to be a staircase because of that shutter door that's to the north. But
okay.
this could lead us in the direction to where the item could be.
And I feel like earlier both players might have been struggling with bombs at this point. I know Rambler was here really, really early. I think it was the second dungeon he went into, maybe? Because I believe he went the Vanilla 3, Vanilla 6 route. All right, no bomb wall over
Rambler swings
there.
and misses with his bomb. He does at least get it to the wall in a position where it would at least let him know that the bomb or the wall is not bombable at that point. So that's the other big question. Where is this map? It probably is at that Goma.
Yeah, probably. That'd be a good place to put it. Well, a bad place to put it, but...
Alright, so he's now finished off 2 of those dark nuts, and hopefully he will get the idea to finish in the third one Oh, don't go too far. Oh, I know. Oh, I know what he's trying to do. He's maybe trying to go for some bombs at this point.
Oh, Rambler, go back! Get that recorder!
Yeah, he's going in the wrong direction. And that right there is a room of no.
He might. Okay, this might be the trip to kill the rest of those dark nuts. Because he's got to think, you know, he might be assuming that it would pop up, you know, inside the T spot or the T room, but he can get to it right here too. So he does have access to every part of this room if he kills the enemies in here. And
yeah,
he's gonna
thankfully he'll be able to see it. Yeah, he'll be able to see it at least.
Too.
Yeah, that's also a very good bomb drop at this point. Oh my goodness, let's figure this thing out here. Where could the next item of progression be? This is nuts.
It's got to be somewhere in 7, or because right now we have like 2 pretty rough ladder blocks here in 4. They could be just a random bomb wall, but yeah, the fact that Goma is very likely holding onto that map kind of makes it difficult to continue right in there because you don't want to, you know, waste all of your bombs. And you know, with that, Garyon does take a Triforce piece lead, getting the Triforce out of 3, as well as both the heart containers. I heard the recorder. I can't honestly name that tune. I've not had a good record of naming the tunes correctly. To me, everything just sounds like Mega Man music. I don't know about you, Rick. What'd that sound like?
I think I'm just gonna go ahead and believe. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and agree with you. It's something Mega Man.
Okay. Good call. Good. All right, Rambler getting his full health, and he's going to be heading over to Vanilla 7, which is where our level 5 was. He will be excited to find that red ring, though he's going to be feeling like his pockets are a little empty after spending 250-some rupees on a blue ring. But at the same time, that blue ring has helped him get to this point, despite having as many heart containers as he does. But yeah, this is going to be big, though, because Garyon is heading up to, I believe, level 7. And might find that second item that's up here.
Yeah, this is level 7 for garionoldwolf, and who knows, maybe we didn't see everything that level 7 had to offer, because Rambler, although he did search a big chunk of this, ended up... Oh, that's a nice bomb upgrade, plus
That is
6.
really nice. The whole yard. I mean, that's the thing, is like, at this point, when you already have Red Ring and money to spend, I mean, I guess unless you need to, like, you're forced to buy wooden arrows, which is still possible, you know, you might as well, you 100% go for those bomb upgrades, because as we've seen already a few times, these players have been running out of bombs pretty quickly. That also means that we found both of our bomb upgrades, 1 in 6 and 1 in 7.
Yeah, but where is our bow? Where is our silver arrows? Where is our ladder?
I feel like at this point, that ladder is the key to the rest of the seed.
Yeah, and ladder can really be that way a lot of these times as Garen continues to search out this level 7. Now, the nice thing about level 7 is that it can paint you a picture for what you might need to do if you have to return back into level 8, because level 7 pretty much being the inverse of level 8 with a few exceptions for possible staircase rooms.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people say that all the time, but as soon as I leave a dungeon, I immediately forget everything that happened in that dungeon, what it looks like. So I never really take advantage of that information, but it's still good information if you're actually, you know, diligent note taker.
There is the heart container for Rambler that will now put him to 13 hearts, and in his mind a 50% chance of whether or not he can wield the magical sword. So you see how that level 7 looks. There's a lot of things in level 8 that's going to be in that northeast corner.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we did not see the entire northeast corner of that level 8.
We didn't see much of 8 at all. We saw like maybe 6 rooms, and that was about it. Now, Garyon might have a much easier time here. There was, a lot of rough enemies, Red Ring, plenty of health. plenty of bombs, magic key. There is a good chance we might see some more in here. I remember over on the right side there was a whole lot of nothing. Rambler's still on the hunt for that red ring. I don't remember what the room looked like, but...
You gotta also remember what we are looking for is a floor drop room, and Rambler did not dispatch of this Patra.
Oh yeah, he killed the first one in the earlier part of the dungeon, but not this one. Could you imagine?
It's the magic boomerang!
Alright, well, there's...
Ooh.
Where is this stuff? Where's the ladder, dude? Oh, that's hilarious. Not for them, but for me.
Now, it's good information for Garion, at least. Now he knows that the ladder's not here, the bow is not here, the silvers are not here. It's just another item off the plate.
Yeah, that's good. He's going to be able to save some time in here. Depending on where that Triforce is. Yeah, Rambler didn't get the Triforce. He only got the power bracelet while he was in there. I believe, was this where the red ring was? No, this was just a blue ruby.
Yeah, I think it was over towards the middle of level 5 was where we saw Garion pull off the red ring. Or at least where you started going oohing at me.
That is a thing that I did.
It definitely is a thing that you did.
Dude, these one-hit red dark nuts, it's so nice.
Yeah, it's really good when the red dark nuts roll to a 2 HP, because that makes him a whole lot better enemy to get some bomb drops off of.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's
the red ring. So now
nice.
Rambler has both items out of this level 5. He's just going to go ahead over to the right-hand side and just tackle off a few dark nuts, and he will be on his way out of here with the Triforce in hand. And for now, we are even 5 Triforces apiece.
Oh man, those dark nuts didn't even put up a fight. You didn't have to tackle anyone. Their defenses were down. Easy, Triforce.
And
all right, well,
man, this is strange considering the fact that Garion spent about 18 minutes inside of level 6 to begin this seed, and we are virtually in a dead heat at this point. We don't know who has the lead.
Yeah, I want to say, like, despite Garion spending a lot of time in 6, as we saw, I feel like maybe Rambler's inability to finish a dungeon, he did hop out of several of them. This seed can still go anyone's way, which is exciting. I want to know where that ladder is. So what, we have 1 item in 4, we have all 3 items in 8, and that's it.
That's it, yeah.
That's it. So it's got to be just some random bomb wall in 4, or 8 was looking pretty rough. So you'd be at an advantage having 14 bombs versus the 8.
I'm more curious at this point where this Triforce is going to be inside of this level 7.
Well, it could be right there. Which wouldn't be too bad if you can go around. Otherwise, it is going to be... Oh, no, you can bomb on the right side there. If you can go around.
Yeah, you're going to have to be able to bomb over that right... Well, actually, I can't take that back because we haven't seen the other transport staircase yet.
Oh, it wasn't here. I remember Rambler... This is the patch that Rambler took out that led to nothing.
Okay, so we are going to be ladder blocking again this Triforce in 7. And now Rambler with 14 hearts is going to be guaranteed this magical sword pickup.
So many hearts. All right, well, that is a major power increase. So he'll be able to get through the remainder dungeons a lot quicker. And, you know, that's a pretty significant advantage.
You know, it always sucks when you're unable to clear the dungeon that's all the way up at level 9 because of just how long it takes for you to get back up there. It takes quite some time to have to backtrack up there and without the recorder bringing you back, too.
All right, well, at this point, it looks like Rambler is going to be heading towards level 8, while Garion is going to be heading back to level 4. So we're going to have both players in different dungeons looking for that ladder. And Rambler's already been to 4 twice now. This will be Garion's second. dive into 4. And if the ladder's in there, then boy, that's going to open up some stuff. Were both dungeons pink? I feel like 4 was pink as well.
They were both pink, yeah. So Garen's going to try the magical sword. We know he's not going to be able to pick this up at 10 hearts. So if I were either of these runners, if I remember the fact that level 7's map was the way that it was, I'd be trying all of the right-hand side walls inside of this level 8 as opposed to the left-hand side that we just saw Rambler try. That's where you would want to remember what level 7 shape is going to be, because without the map here in 8, it would help you in better bombing decisions.
Oh, sorry. That is very not pink. That is very purple. I stand
it's a shade of red.
Wildly corrected. Imagine being that wrong about. I will say though, they're both very nice. That purple is very nice to look at. I like it.
Yeah, I like that sail of purple.
All right. Well, at this point, it's just going to come down to who finds that magical, fancy bomb hole first, and that is a bomb hole on Rambler's side, leading immediately to another ladder block. No dice.
Yeah, we already saw Garion kill that dig dogger earlier for no results.
I thought you were going to say for no reason. I was like, well, yeah. Okay, well, that is back where that recorder was dropped. There is that bomb wall there. I think there was just a group of enemies over here, and then another ladder block south of here.
Yeah, there's going to be this room, then there's going to be a funky block room that's got the 3 Dodongos, which had, I believe, a key was their drop, because Rambler took care of them in his first trip in. But it's not going to lead us any further information about what is going on with this level 4. Or, yeah, what's going on with this level 4.
Now, I do remember Garion killing that dig dog, which had a small key. Did he also kill the one up here on the left as well?
Yeah, he did kill the one that was in the Double River room as well. Because that one dropped... If it dropped anything, it was either 5 rupee... It wasn't anything significant.
Yeah, unfortunately for these players, there is nothing really that you can do to get around these rivers. You need that ladder.
No drop.
So... It's like Rambler's going to try bombing a few spots here. No dice on that one. But yeah, like you were saying, he needs to try on these right side rooms. He's going to have a much better shot doing that.
Yeah, either to the north here or to the east. Well, you can't do the east there because of that wall right there. But there's a bomb wall right there. That's going to lead to a bugger. And with the any key, that is no penalty. We're starting to get some places now.
Yeah, this is looking like the right direction. And this might be Rambler taking the lead here in this race. Here in this game 1. Sometimes all it does is come down to just a single bomb hole. But at the same time, depending on what he finds here, could still be nothing, and 4 could be the answer. What do we got?
There it is. There is the ladder for Rambler. That is huge at this stage.
Now, the significance as well is we are still 2 more items away from go mode. We still need to find that bow and silvers. Now, that is the first item here in level 8. There are 2 more items, and boy, I'm sure Rambler would be very satisfied to just find both the bow and silvers here in 8.
Yeah, and wouldn't that be really nice? Because then he wouldn't have to worry about what's going on inside of that level 6. And that is going to be the transport staircase that'll take us to another side of this level 8.
Bit of a high five in a way. A wee bit. Oh, and carry on finding a bomb wall as well. I believe we did go up here. Yes, I remember Rambler was over here.
Yeah. And he also had an issue here where he was down to 1 bomb, just like Rambler was. So this could be a choose wisely decision coming up. Oh, hi there, Zelda's room.
Bye there, Zelda's room. Yeah, that is the thing, is with the few items remaining, or few item locations remaining, there is still a very high probability that the silvers could be in 9 as well, which you just hate to see that as a player, but love to see that as a viewer.
Now, if Rambler did the right thing here, he would have killed that like because that is a potential of a drop room right there. The shapes with the diamond room have a potential of having a forced room clear drop. So we'll have to see if that comes back to haunt Rambler, but he's got other decisions that he can make instead of this level 8 at this point. So who knows, he might be able to find something else in one of these other rooms.
And it looks like Garion is trying to go for... he's going to try and take out these red dark nuts one at a time, get them to spawn in the middle room. He still can't get whatever item spawns in here, because I'm assuming it always spawns in the middle. So this is just going to be for gathering information about the... Well, he's in 4. So it's either going to be the Triforce or it's going to be nothing important. There's the map for level 8.
Oh, there's the map for 8, and holy cow, what in the world is that ink blot?
Now that definitely looks like a masquerade mask. You even got the little thing to hold it up on the left side.
Okay, this is going to be our second item.
There's the bow! Okay, one more piece of the puzzle. Just gotta find those silvers, but this 8 is looking pretty spicy, I gotta say. We're still also looking for that Triforce as well. So what better time to look for that third item, which at this point is gonna be, what, a floor item? So,
yep.
Yeah, let's hope that that like that he skipped earlier doesn't end up costing him. Oh, and there's the Triforce.
There's the Triforce right there, but I think he wants to get this floor item right now before he ends up leaving this dungeon. It's not going to be in this room. This cannot be a drop room. Takes a look at the map. He is going to go ahead and pick up this Triforce. That will give Rambler the lead in Triforce counts at 6.
He is going back in, okay. I wasn't sure what his plan was here. He does now have a lot more information now that he has that map, and it looks like he's going to go find his way down this, this corridor down here.
He has access to a lot more right now because he has that ladder. And this is just another case of knowing the level 7 layout, helping you out and making decisions for you when you end up going into level 8. We'll see if this pays off for him. Here we go. That's a bomb. That's not what he wants to see. garionoldwolf, now with bombs in his arsenal, is going to continue to search off this level 4. We now know he's not going to be able to find a ladder in this side of this dungeon.
Yeah, I'm at this point pretty convinced that 4 might still have the silvers, but is definitely going to be ladder blocked. And he needs to either run out of bombs again or find his way over to level 8, but yeah, it's another situation of, okay, what random bomb wall am I going to look for or grenade? And that's got to be, as someone that's experienced that, it's pretty frustrating to go from one dungeon, running out of bombs, looking for a magic bomb wall, to go into another dungeon, to running out of bombs, looking for a magic bomb wall.
So at this point in time, Rambler is going to be making his way back. I would have to assume at this stage he's going back to level 4. And this time he will be able to get to what will be the staircase item. Plus, of course, the Triforce. And then back into level 7, clear that off. So we now know it's either the floor drop of 8, the staircase item in level 4, or the silvers will be in level 9.
Yeah, of course there are 2 items in level 9. At this point, though, what are we still missing? We're still missing 2 heart containers?
We are missing
the white sword?
The white sword, which would be very, very insignificant to Rambler. And I believe you are right, 2 more heart containers.
Man, you just hate to see white sword 9, but at this point, when you're sitting here with a magical sword, I'm sure Rambler doesn't care too much. And I'm not sure what Garion's doing, maybe looking at some notes. I've been seeing him stopping every now and then, maybe jotting down notes. Yeah, he's got to think a little bit about what his decision is, because clock's ticking, and Rambler is on the move. Of course, those silvers could still completely, turn the tides. This race isn't over yet.
I've seen Garion play. I saw him play over at AGDQ. He was just playing this in the practice rooms. He does track his levels. He does track his complete levels where he's gone into dungeons. So he might be taking a look at his notes. He might be taking a look at his map track right there, just trying to see where he has been in his dungeon, where he hasn't tried yet, and just coming up with more ideas of where he needs to go. That's going to be a ladder block Triforce right there for Rambler. And he's going to try to clip it past, but he couldn't do so. He ends up picking the Triforce. If you're going to try to clip, the best way to do so is through the bottom. And then when you're halfway out, then put yourself onto the main path.
I managed to do that clip yesterday during practice for the first time. Just like, I'd never seen someone do it. And I was like, hey, maybe this will work. And it worked. And it was pretty silly.
It's always fun when you end up clipping in that Chevy room to find a raft inside of a dungeon, one room to the south. And by way of saying that it's fun, it's not really fun, but sometimes you have to do that if you don't want to end up leaving a dungeon. Right.
Now, there is still that Goma in the early part of 4. We still haven't seen that map, so it is probably very likely that that is where our map is. Definitely not. It's probably not going to be the item. Right?
Yeah, because the idea in regards to shapes is that you will never end up having to go through a bomb wall. Oh. There is the staircase room right there. You never have to go to a bomb wall in order to get that. Oh. White Sword is in 4, so it's either floor drop 8 or the 2 items in 9.
Yeesh. Yeah, I also realized that we had already seen the floor item in 4. That was our recorder, so that was me being dumb. But yeah.
Oh, wow. Exclamation point, you're bad.
Yeah, there it is. Okay, well, this is interesting for Rambler. I wonder, here's the thing, is Rambler going to dig out the second item in 7 and see that, magical boomerang?
Oh, that's right, he never saw it. He never saw it, that's right.
I mean, the thing is, it's either 2 items in 9, well, which is interesting, because, more often than not, in 9, you're going to be either you're going to just find Ganon and find Zelda and be done, or you're going to clear the whole thing, and, you're going to check your staircases along the way. There's a good chance you might find at least one of the items along the way, but I personally never want to go into 9 looking for silvers. That just feels bad.
Willard, you played this enough times to know that when you're walking to level 9 on a hunt for silver arrows, you're going to find Ganon, you're going to find Zelda in the first rooms.
Yep. And that's now what do I do? Man, if only it was something like Z2 or with how Thunderbird works, if you find Ganon, then silvers aren't going to be behind him, or do something silly like that. I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah. We also haven't seen the Triforce in 7 because of the ladder block, so there's a good chance. We know that the second item wasn't in this direction, so there's, unless he goes back in, he's probably just going to grab the Triforce and bail.
And the thing is, for Rambler at this point, it's going to be a 50-50 gamble.
Yep.
If he does bail here and goes straight to 9. It's a 50-50 gamble.
Well, he also hasn't seen the book in 6.
It is a... Yeah, you're right.
So I would expect him to go straight to 9.
It's a 40-60 gamble.
Because he's like, I'm not going back to 6. Oh, geez, so close.
Well, he is going back to start.
He sure is. And Garyon is still working in 4. I feel like, yes, we talked about how these players kind of tied up in Triforce pieces, but I do think at certain points in a run, you got to know when to try something different. We saw that earlier with Garyon going for, spending 20 minutes in level 6. Of course, it's all still luck, because that book could have been the silvers the whole time, and Garyon would be sitting pretty right now, while Rambler would be heading towards a, 2 heart containers in level 9, also possible, so.
Mm-hmm. So right now, Rambler is going to go ahead and take care of this patch-up, which is actually going to be a really good decision for him, because this gives him the information that he needs.
Oh, yeah.
The silvers are not going to be in level 7.
So now it's a 50% chance. 6, 8, or 9 for Rambler here.
That is right.
No Triforce there.
No Triforce in that room. Coming to this room, that's just a key drop. And so this staircase, might take him over that bottom section of that level 7.
I would have to assume so. We also did see Garyon head on out finally of 4. See, it looks like he is heading back to 8. That's pretty much the only option he has right now. And
yeah,
the only problem is sitting at
heading to
0 bombs. Okay. He looks like he's going to go get some rupees and then probably go pick up some bombs. There is bombs in the bomb shop.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Only 11 rupees each. So he can afford to buy a few of those.
Yeah, he's going to go pick up this large secret at this stage. Rambler is going to go back through this level 7, takes a death in the Dark Nut room. This is a case where you might want to pick your poison, check the other rooms, and then come to the conclusion that it's going to be that blue Dark Nut room. Even though you have the red ring, you get hit by a blue Dark Nut, you lose a half of a heart, and if you get a room like that where there's a whole bunch of blue Dark Nuts, they can get rather tricky.
He does have, he does have 8 bombs at his disposal if he wants to use those to clear out these Dark Nuts. But at the same time, he's got the most powerful weapon in the game. But just not getting the right angles.
Yeah, he keeps getting hit by those blue Dark Nuts. Just keeps turning on him and various things. Now starting to use his bombs.
And there it is.
And what do you know?
The Triforce.
That is the Triforce room. So if you had taken my advice, you would have been searching 5 extra rooms.
All right, and with that, Rambler does pick up his final Triforce piece, which means he will be heading over to level 9 unless he decides to make a pit stop in either 6 or 8. Level 9 was over at Vanilla 2, so it looks like he's going to probably flute over to 1 and then walk north.
In theory, unfortunately, where the recorder dropped him off was level 3, so he's going to record her twice to go back to level 1.
Oh, yeah, I wish there was... Wait.
Okay, I'll explain what just happened right there. He ended up turning to the left and used the recorder at the same frame. That progressed his count upward as opposed to twice backwards. You have to turn, then recorder in order for it to work.
Okay. Gotcha. Interesting. Yeah, for me, it'd be like, I would love if there was like just a universal counter somewhere. It'd be like, I pause and like, oh, it's set to 1, so now I can... But that's because I'm lazy and don't feel like keeping track of that. But yeah, level 9. Very interesting dungeon. We have upwards of how many rooms can we possibly find in here?
50, 60 plus rooms with 12 different staircases that are transport staircases. More if this is a segmented level 9, which can happen sometimes. Plus, it's got the 2-item staircases. Rambler's hoping one of them will have the silver arrows, as garionoldwolf is now inside level 8. And we finally have seen some blue Lionels. This is the first appearance of blue Lionels we've had all seed.
Yeah, I know. If Garyon just, picked up that blue ring, we would have seen them earlier. But yeah, it looks like Garyon is finally going to be making up to that ladder spot. I believe that's right here. And Rambler picking up a very useful map. It's nice to know where you don't need to bomb. But
yeah, it definitely helps out with some bombing decisions. You see a hole in the map and you bomb to the north, of course, sometimes you still bomb to the north. Then you look like a fool doing so.
All right, well, this is going to be super interesting. So we still, for Garyon, has 2 items left in here, 1 more staircase and 1 more floor item. The staircase item that he has left is the bow. We did not see what the floor item was. If that ends up being the silvers, that's going to give him some time to catch up. Rambler is going to be, even if Rambler doesn't find the silvers in here, he has more than likely going to find his Ganon and his Zelda, so that when he has to go back out...
That is a trolley staircase right there.
Yeah.
Single room, bomb sealed, can't go anywhere. By the way, that room that Rambler did not kill that we were talking about earlier did have a drop. It was the compass.
Oh, okay. Good to know. That's convenient for Garyon, because he still hasn't gotten the Triforce out of here, so he'll be able to head that direction and get that. But yeah, I'm very curious to see, because if he gets the silvers, then that's just a quick redip back into 4, redip back into 7, and you know, he had already seen a good chunk of 7 as well, so he has a pretty good idea of where to go. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. We're just looking for that staircase here. Those staircases here in 9. And another thing to point out is that's just 4 bombs.
Wow, that's horrible.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen back-to-back awful staircases. Yeah, here's the thing. Garion also does have the advantage of having that bomb upgrade, so he will have a lot more bombs to work with, and Rambler already down to 2. He's going to be hoping he finds some on the ground here, maybe from clearing some rooms, only getting a small key.
Garion is only a couple of rooms away from where the bow was, so keep that in mind. So he will be getting an advantage there as he picks up the map. And this room right here was where the bow was.
Oh, this could be Silver's locked behind a Patra, which isn't too bad when you have Magical Sword, but still. Oh yeah, that's just dissolving that Patra. But it's nothing. Got him.
Yes. And he uses his final bomb. So, Rambler here. Oh, here's a staircase. Is this going to be an item staircase? Flips his way in.
It's the silver arrows! Oh, wow. So Rambler solidifying his lead with that play. Skipping out on both items out of 6 and 8. And not paying the price for it. Rambler takes a tremendous lead. Now, we still have a lot of 9 left to discover. And, you know, sometimes it could. We've already seen 2 fancy staircases that lead to nothing. You never know if Ganon or Zelda's going to be hiding again behind a third one.
Yeah, sometimes you have to take a magical staircase to get to the end of here, but unfortunately for Rambler, he has to hope he can pick up some bombs. He's not going to be able to do so because of that clock right there, which would tell that you're at number 3 on the global counter. Now, bomb-dropping enemies like the blue Lionels will drop bombs on the 1, 6, and 8 on the global counter, and 3 means the next one is 4, no bomb chance.
Things that I don't know. But things that I should know. That's very interesting. Thank you. 1, 6, and 8? Okay. Keep track of that. I just kind of kill stuff and hope for the best.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to go through a game without being able to keep note of where you are in your count. So that's why you always try to look for subtle clues to kind of give you information where you can be. Mm-hmm. Like that clock that you saw the blue Lionels drop, that meant 3 on the global counter.
What'd that heart mean? That mean anything?
That heart means either 5, 9, or 0.
Okay.
Which means you got a 2/3 chance your next drop can be a bomb.
Gotcha. Good to know. All right, looks like Aaron is going to head over to do a screen wrap to get into the graveyard. Didn't find any more heart containers. I'm actually quite surprised. I don't think Aaron has gotten a single take any heart.
No, he has not. So, Rambler ended up leaving this level 9. He needs bombs, so he's going to go ahead and buy some of this stage. 41 rupees. You know where the bomb shop is. It's over on the coast. Not a super long walk in order to get to that, but that is another spot where you mentioned earlier where it could easily turn out to be that bomb upgrade coming into play.
And the thing is, Garion doesn't have either compass out of 4 and 7. So he still needs to, you know, make good routing decisions, getting to the Triforce. Now, we did see him earlier in 4 trying to lure out those dark nuts in that, what's that room? Is that a Chevy room where it's like a weird...
Yeah, the Chevy room.
Which ended up being where the Triforce was, but...
Yeah. If he was able to get them fully cleared, he would have had that very important piece of information. He's going to go in this direction. It's not a misplay. It's where he's hoping to get the right answer. It's just not going to be the right answer in this case.
Yeah, and he's also looking out for the second item in here as well, hoping to find them silvers, because he still has to make that decision. Because he skipped out on the set of the third item in 8 as well. But I'm sure he's got to be feeling behind at this point, given how much time he spent in here and in 6. So I could definitely see him go for the silvers playing 9.
So in this case right here, this is game number 1 of a best-of-3 series between the number 63 seed and the number 66 seed. Rambler being the 63 seed, garionoldwolf being the 66 seed. The winner of this best-of-3 series will take on Unos in the second round of this tournament, Unos being the number 2 seed. So what might be going through these runners' minds in this match that is very, very heavily close as far as your seeding numbers are concerned?
Sorry, was that a question for me?
That is.
Can you say it again? Well, I feel like I'm sure both players might have done a little research on their opponent, maybe looked at their opening routes to try and get an idea of how to do something. The thing is, like, at this rank, at this stage, especially depending on how many qualifiers each of these players did, I don't know if there's really that much information out there that these players can gather about each other. So, you know, just going to play to their best of their abilities and just hope they don't get completely dunked on in a seed. Which, I feel like this seed was pretty, there's a lot of dunking that went on this one. With all the ladder blocks.
Both runners have run week 5 seeds only once in the tournament. Rambler took race 5 of the week 5 seeds. 1:20.28 was his time, 15th out of 19th in that race. garionoldwolf did a week 5 race 3 seed. It was finished in 1:21.18, where he finished 8th out of 15th. So you may have gone back in, you may have watched and saw how each runner attacks those seeds. What do they do first? Do they go 3 first, or they go 1 first? Or are they one of those kind of runners who end up going towards number 2 first? And we still haven't heard Ganon.
Yeah, that is the thing about level 9, is we are listening for that Ganon roar, and if you enter a room and you hear that roar, and you make sure it's not actually the roar of the Patra or the Manhamla or one of those bosses that make loud noises in that same room, he's going to be in a cardinal direction from the spot that you hear him at. We're also looking for a shutter door that does not open. So if Rambler clears the enemies out of this room and it doesn't open, then he will know that that is Zelda. That is not Zelda, though.
Yeah, he's already been into this room to the north here, so he knew that wasn't going to be her, because he saw his... he looked at his mini-map after coming out of that staircase.
Gotcha.
But it's a case where he was definitely hoping that that was going to be a better path, because I think he really wants to get to that northwest corner, and he hasn't found a path to get to that northwest corner just yet.
Mm-hmm. This might be... No, he's going to the northeast corner.
I think I hear him. Yep, I hear him.
You hear him, and Rambler has run out of bombs. He is hoping that these geese will drop a bomb for him right here. Otherwise, he's going to have to head on out and go buy some more. Oh, only 5 rupees.
There's some rupees to go buy some more.
Yeah. In fact, at this point, he can buy 4 sets of 8 bombs, or 4 sets of 4 bombs. But here's the thing: at the same time, Garion is, hard on his trail. He is making his way down here. He's about 3 rooms away from the Triforce. Now, I don't know if he needed to take the staircase to get down there, or if there was a bomb wall he could take. But it looks like he's going to go look for a staircase to get down there. Now, if we remember, it was a staircase to get to the bottom right section. Then past that ladder-blocked Patra, which dropped the magical boomerang, was the second staircase, or the other staircase that took him to the bottom left. Or no, that took him to the Triforce room here in 7. Rick, I'm having a good time. This is fun.
Oh yeah, this is definitely fun. It's nice watching these runners here, trying to see what they are up to, try to figure out what their game plans are going to be. This is not the only match we've got going on here on Speed Gaming 2 this evening. We got some more Zelda 1 Randomizer coming up after this match, so stay tuned. More fun in the sun coming up. What a golden level 9.
Yeah, it's quite nice. It's pretty big. It's got blade traps and dark rooms with nothing in it. Wow, Rambler's done a fantastic job of basically clearing out the whole bottom section. Has not really ventured too far in the top section, but yeah, it looks like he is going to have to head out and go get more bombs. So every time he leaves to go get bombs, that just gives Garion more time to come back. Of course, Rambler does have that advantage of having already, cleared pretty much, I'd say, about half of 9 so far, and finding those silvers.
So we do ask that you do stay tuned here. We got more of the tournament coming up in just a few moments. As Rambler does pick up a 4-pack of bombs off the Gyptos, hoping to maybe pick up some more. Do have another match that just began over on Randomania between Boletta and Bent Glass Tube on a very, very busy Wednesday here with the Zelda 1 Randomizer round of 128, the first round of the brackets.
Again, I believe that match is also their... I believe it's game 2? Might be game 3. I haven't kept up with that. And then I believe after this match, we have a really exciting game 3 match between Tetra and Leslie Pro.
Yeah, that is a winner-takes-all game 3.
I actually went back and watched both the races, both the VODs of the races one night, and not knowing the results, which made it even more fun, obviously. And it's just one of those things where you never know. You just really never know how a seed's going to play out. And at this point, Garen is heading into level 9. Both players in level 9. Garen needs to find those silver arrows. I don't exactly remember at what point in 9 those were, but he's got some time. I believe at this point, Rambler is probably trying to make his way back to that staircase that took him up to the top right. He's got to be careful here, down to 4 hearts and accidentally walking into a Lionel.
Yeah, just talking about that match that we've got coming up here in just a few moments. Tetra being the number 54 seed, Leslie Pro, the 75 seed, winner taking on Random Effect in the second round, Random Effect being the 11th seed. Once again, this match here between numbers 63 and 66 to take on Unos in the second round.
I gotta say, I feel like, based on how the bracket is laid out, these first round matches are super exciting. There's a lot. I feel like there's definitely a lot of players. I mean, the thing is, like, with how the qualifiers worked, which I actually really enjoyed how it was set up. The seeds kind of tell a tale of player skill and all that stuff, but this is also a randomizer, so you can never be too sure who can actually take the victory in a seed. It could come down to just one decision. It could have been Absolutely. That book deep in 6, could have been the silvers, or the ladder. Mm-hmm. It's just a nice combination of execution and luck that really makes it exciting to watch.
And this is your first adventure in the Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament.
It is. Prior to joining this tournament, doing the qualifiers, I'd only done maybe a handful of like full entrance Zelda 1 Rando, which is ridiculous and still a lot of fun. And this was just, honestly, like, I saw it popped up. I was like, what the heck? Let's join it. And it's been just an amazing way to like really sit down and learn how to get good at this video game. And I've really enjoyed it, and this is actually, one of my first times doing... It's only my second time doing commentary for Z1 Randomizer. Wait. Oh, I thought I heard a Ganon. I thought I heard it for like a split second.
Yeah, Rambler is in a section right now where he has to get to the very, very top, but I think what he's trying to do is to map out the path to Zelda at this stage, or maybe try to find another staircase that will bring him maybe in the direction of Ganon.
Oh yeah, right. We already heard Ganon. I heard a sound that sounded like Ganon, and I was like, he can't be over here. He wouldn't be right next to the entrance. I mean, it's possible, but not in this one. So he knows where, well, he doesn't necessarily know how to get to Ganon. It makes me wonder what kind of notes these players are taking. You said that Garyon does take extensive notes in dungeons. I don't know what Rambler does. I use that good old Z-Helper. Z-Helper's been very helpful in learning this game.
Yeah, it's a case where I end up using the map tracker, especially in level 9, because you can get lost in this level 9, especially if you have to take several staircases to get to where exactly you need to go. Now, one thing we had not expected to have happen in regards to Garyon, he is out of bombs.
Bit of a surprise. He has what, a max 14? And, wouldn't be... As surprising as it is, it still wouldn't be a surprise to see him head out and go buy bombs, much like Rambler did. It looks like that bottom left corner is also going to be one of those one-off staircases. So
Oh, that's ugly.
Three in the same seed.
3 one-off staircases.
Now, the other thing to consider for Rambler is, don't believe he has a potion or anything like that. He does have 4 hearts. He does have red mail, or red ring, excuse me. Who's saying Link to the Past? He also has the magical sword and a nice bomb drop. So, you know, Ganon still does quite a bit of damage.
Yeah,
and
so
you're down to half a
Lionels.
heart. Yeesh.
And so Garion picking up that map, so he's taking that information right now and just trying to construct a plan right now. And I think the room that the silvers were in was near that room in between the 2 spaces on that on that 3rd row.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's that room that's in between the 2 spaces.
Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar. I think it was a staircase that led to a staircase or something like that. Very close to that one-off, that blocked staircase. Yeah, Rambler unfortunately taking another death. I'm curious, because if I were him, I would have been heading back to where I heard Ganon. But that was also a one-off, but he only had 1 bomb to try, so he only got to check one of the 3 available cardinal directions. So, oh, he finds another bomb hole. All right, we keep moving.
He might be able to find a way around it at this point. Garion's going to end up leaving this level 9. He's going to go back in because he's resetting the Lionels. Trying to maybe get some bombs off them. And we're just about ready to hear the roar of Ganon once again.
Yeah, and here's the other thing.
In this next room.
Is that we did see the white sword, but Garion is still only on wooden sword.
And here is Ganon.
All right, 4 hearts left. If Rambler he can't get sat on 4 times, but he only has to hit Ganon 4 times. So they're kind of on equal grounds at this point. Evenly matched, if you will.
Yeah, that's right. There's 3 hits right there. And he takes down the pig. Now, can he bomb out of this room? He can, at least in that direction.
No shutter door.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there a shutter door that's going to open up? He's going to check this room to the south first.
That's a good idea.
Gotta always be careful in a room like that, because there could be a spray overload that does not allow you to be on your ladder. It usually happens more in Guerilla rooms or Moblin rooms.
Yeah, they saved all the Lionels for last. Holy cow, so many blue Lionels everywhere.
And there's another locked door right there. Rambler's going to take that, go into the room over here, and that's another locked door. So Zelda is not in this corridor.
So we are not done yet.
Yeah, because the room to the south was where he came out of that staircase where we heard Ganon the very first time.
So, based on what we've seen so far, it feels like Zelda's more than likely going to have to be up in that top left corner. It's somewhere in that vicinity. We've seen a lot of level 9. I don't think we've seen any shutter doors that haven't opened yet. Otherwise, us brilliant commentators would have called that out.
Oh, Garion gets into Ganon's room, but he does not have the silvers yet. So he does know the path to Ganon at this stage. So at least that's good information for Garion, even though he can't get the silver arrows at this point in time. We know he has to go north of this Lionel room, is where the silvers turned out to be, that Rambler's in right now. Like, you had to go through the bomb wall to the north, and then further to the north to get to where the silvers are. Okay, you're an hour 43 into this seed. What is going through these runners' minds?
Well, the question is, are either of these runners looking at IRC? Are they tracking? Are they keeping track? Because, like, I know towards the end, I don't want to be looking at it because it's just going to make me nervous. It's going to make me mess up. But, you got to be thinking, where is that dot done? Should have happened a while ago. Now, here's another thing. Rambler down to his last bomb. He's going to bomb south, and it does open up.
It.
And there it is.
And there's a shutter door that opens. He's got it.
Wow. He had 2 options there. He could have bombed left, or he could have bombed south, and he chose the right one, using his last bomb and making his way to Zelda. We have our winner of Game 1 between these two combatants. GG.
Yeah, GG's NYRambler finished first place, 144.18.
Man,
the first one to get to the ladder, and I think that kind of made the big difference right there, going back to 8 when all else kind of failed. And we have an NYRambler joining us.
How are you feeling about that level 9?
Well,
mostly.
The ladder was also driving me crazy. It was like 4 or 5 dungeons were ladder blocked. But yeah, that 9 was absolutely insane.
What was going through your mind here when we're getting to the hour 30 mark, the hour 40 mark, and you haven't seen a dot done from Garion?
Well, first off, I don't look at the IRC at all when I'm racing, so I have no idea if he had finished a half hour ago or if he wasn't done yet. So I didn't know until I found Zelda.
Would you say you were surprised, or were you just like, oh, okay, interesting? Or
pleasantly surprised, but this seed was pretty rough. So it's I wasn't too shocked. I'm shocked, but I wasn't shocked at the same time that I won with the 145 time, because this seed was absolutely horrendous. Not so much combat-wise. Combat-wise, it was fine. Just that the ladder, where the ladder was, and how bad 9 was.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of blue Lionel or land molos. No big deal.
The Lionels, yeah, the blue Lionels were very rude. I mean, I was thinking about getting a potion, but I didn't have enough money when I first went to 9, and 9 was so far away from all the potion shops. Like, I had the letter, I had the money by the time, like, I was going back to buy bombs. You had to find all the bombs.
How many trips did you make over to buy bombs? Was it just the one? Or?
I made 2 trips to the shop, and then 1 more trip to kill the mummies on the overworld.
Now, Garion is without a bomb, and he was 1 room south of where the silvers turned out to be. How happy were you to see the silvers?
I was so glad they weren't behind the Goma in 8.
So you also never saw the item in 6, correct? The second item?
Yes, those are 2 things missing. Floor item in 8, floor item in 6.
It was the book.
Oh, okay. I was not mad about that.
In like the top right corner. So it's wand and book in 6.
I gotta say, this was the first time I was upset to see a red ring. Because I was flat out expecting it to be the ladder. I was like, all right, it's got to be the ladder here, and it's red ring. I was like, really?
Really?
All right. So a couple things real fast. First of all, Garion ended up spending like 16 minutes inside of that level 6 at the very beginning. Came out with a Triforce, but a lot of time invested to come away with an unrequired book. That kind of turned one tide, but you made the play to go back into level 8 faster than Garion did, and I think that's what ended up making the difference in the end.
Yeah, I was 8 and 7 by the time that left.
Since we had already seen the item on Garion's side, in 7, we saw the boomerang. Was it his first? I believe it was his first time he was in there, maybe. We knew it was either down to 8 or 4. We were actually surprised. We were expecting the ladder to be in 1, but 1 was just a 3-pack of heart containers, which made up for. It felt like forever before you guys started getting hearts in the dungeons, or like you guys were at 3 hearts for a while.
I was under it for a while, yeah.
But yeah, Garion ended up spending a significant amount of time in 4 while you were digging out the rest of, or looking through 8, and that definitely turned the tides, and we were just waiting for those silvers to pop up.
And unfortunately, we would sit here and talk a little bit more, but we are about 20 minutes late for another race on this double header between the Tetrally and Leslie Pro. So we're going to have to actually jump out of this race here. Rambler, you're going to be on the call for that.
Yeah, I am. I was expecting to be done at 1:30 because most of my seeds are on this flag set in the 120 to 130 range. I'm blaming Willard for this. Willard said that he was expecting me to be a 2 to 2.5 hour seed. All right,
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't. Maybe I did.
enough about the blame, but we do have to move on here. So let's go ahead and, if you want to go ahead and watch garionoldwolf to the finish line, go ahead and watch him twitch.tv/garionoldwolf. You can do !R to see him, as hopefully he'll bomb this wall to the north. He'll get his silvers in just a very moment here. So I'm Adirondack Rick. Willard, you had a fun time?
I had a great time. Thank you so much. This was I plan to do plenty more, and as well as the fact I will be tracking this next race, so I will be sticking around. So Thank you everyone for watching.
Awesome. For Tharich also handling the tracking for us, we got to get out of here. Garen just got his silver arrows. Let's get him to the finish line. And so, Rambler, what's up next?
We're doing some more Link to the Past randomizer here. I will be switching scenes soon, I believe, going from me and Garen's race over to the race of Game 3 between Tetrali and Leslie Pro 04. I'll be being joined by Sharky in a second. Maybe we'll just see Garen. I'm assuming he knows where Ganon is. We might just go kill Ganon real quick. Yeah, so now Gary getting into the, well, on his side, the Zelda fight, because he's playing as a Lionel. Oh, and he's still on Wood Sword, with only 10 hearts. But got a really good stun lock. Yeah, on my end, I don't know if it was 13 or 14 hearts for the